Hold on. It's live. Yes. Johnny Mac in the building. I said to this epic human being, I said, you want to do it live? You want to do it recorded? I said, your call. We're going live. That's why I love you.
We don't record things. We don't do that.
You know why? Because it's real.
The truth comes out live.
Truth. And I said to literally him, I'm telling you, I said to him 8 seconds ago, I said, you know why this is going to work? Because our intention is pure. To just put out good vibes into the uni.
Dude, I will be honest with you. Like, just to start this off, I am so proud of you. And I know this is going to sound like really weird, but like, seriously, like I remember when you started this whole thing with what you were doing. I went on there, I think it was me and your mom were the only followers. There were 2 followers. It was like not quantity, but quality followers we started with. And like any other human being would have shut it down and would have said, oh, this ain't working, this blah, blah, blah. And I swear to you, like your joy and your enthusiasm for what you're doing is infectious. And it is taken me to a different level. Like I jump on and listen to you. I'll listen to, who do I listen to? Gary V, Jesse Itzler. Like, because, Gary V talks about like, just doing it and just getting out there. And Jesse talks about finite, like you only have a finite number of years, and Gary talks about patience, right? And then I turn you on and like you're singing with some random Starbucks guy. Like who does that? And it's like, no matter how bad my day is going, that joy. So it's listen, just so you know, in the lineup, you're third. It's Jesse, Gary.
By the way, the fact that I'm even in that conversation, because those are like my guys, man. I look up to them so much. I listen to them every day. And first of all, I love you for saying that. And by the way, just to give everybody listening some context, I met Johnny Mac back when we were working with the Jonas Brothers, and I literally was texting him saying, yo, like how unbelievable was that ride? We can get into that in a second, but I just want to thank you for that and just let you know. And I think we'll get into all of this, and I'm so amped, and we're going to do more of this because I can already feel the good vibes. But I have to tell you though, for real, it's helpful to hear. And actually Gary talks about this, not hearing the claps or the boos. And I really I love that, because it's like, it just allows you to stay focused, because his point is if you don't get too high on the claps and the applause, you won't care about the boos and the negativity when somebody's hating on it. And, I struggle.
Just so we're clear, I want claps. Can you clap? I want claps. I want to hear the claps. Clap. Clap for me, Ned. All right, cool. No boos.
Can I just ask you, this is actually like for real. What, because I'd be totally honest with you, I'm struggling figuring out what lane, I'm like literally trying to figure out like what to talk about, because I just want to, like, at the end of the day, I think where my lane is just to use my energy to like spark joy. Somebody told me that a long time ago. They're like, I think your brand is like sparking my this is real time. We're on the monitor here. Beckham.
Nice.
Monitor.
I remember those days.
Close eye on that.
Actually, we didn't have monitors back then.
I know, right?
I just think we let him cry. I don't know.
He's doing okay.
They ended up being tough kids.
He's right.
If you have to leave the room, I'll try.
We'll pause.
Me and Moana will continue the conversation if you have to run upstairs.
No, I appreciate it. We're okay. But my question to you is like a bit of real-time feedback. What do you feel like I should double down on as it relates to my content? Because I just want to do, and I get caught up, and hopefully this can bring value to other people listening. I get caught up on analyzing and this and that, and then I stop doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like I stopped doing the thing that I love the most. That's why literally yesterday I just went for a walk and was like, okay, I'm just going to talk about my 3 favorite posts I saw on Instagram. I'm just like looking for things to talk about.
I mean, listen, you always say, what'd you say? You already said it 6 times, for real. And I think that's your strength, right? Like you're real. Like it's crazy. There's this guy, Mikey White on the Jets. So is that his name? Mike White had a great, you football guy still or no?
Used to be.
He's a backup. He showed up last week, had a 400-yard game. So the big thing in New York, and they're playing tonight, is this guy, Mike White, right? So backup quarterback, right? So it was funny. I remember my dad and I don't know if we were at the game or watching the game, and it was a basketball game, Knick game. and it was a blowout. So they sent in the guys, and the fans started calling them scrubs, and there were guys next to us saying, "Oh, these guys are scrubs," or "These guys." And my dad's laughing, right? Like, what are you laughing about? He goes, "The 12th guy on this bench is the top 300 players in the world. There are no scrubs on that floor right now. None. Zero. And these guys are calling them scrubs. They were best in their town. They were best in their city. They were best in their state. They're the best 300 players in the world. That 12th guy that just went in with 12 seconds left, he was the best. And he's a top 300 player. And when I look at you, Ned, like, honestly, like, number one, you're really, really good at what you do in terms of the interviews and the way you handle yourself behind the desk. And, like, you're going to be on a platform. Like, you're going to be on, whether it's TV or YouTube or Netflix, you're going to make it. You're going to get to where you want to go, because I watch you and your talent level is that good. Now, you may be 12th on the bench right now, honestly. Like, you may be behind Fallon and whoever else those nitwits are doing the late night stuff, but you're in the game, dude. You're the 10th, 11th guy on the bench, and for this guy Mike White who's playing for the Jets tonight, it comes down to opportunity. He got an opportunity last week, so your opportunity is coming. And I give you a lot of credit for sticking with it. I give Megan a lot of credit upstairs for dealing with your idiocy, singing into freaking machines and whatever the hell you're doing down in that basement, and just using every ounce of what she has not to open the door and go down there.
Legit,
right?
Legit.
So that's a big deal too. So
I appreciate that.
That's how I look at your game, though, dude. You may be the 12th man on the bench right now, but guess what? If the coach sends you in for the last 12 seconds, just do your best, and that's what you've been doing. So,
by the way, first of all, I genuinely
that was good. I didn't even think.
I know. I'm telling you, we could. And I genuinely appreciate that, and it helped me, like, for real, like, genuinely. And I think for people listening to bring value, like, I think there's something so in the, like, I remember, and every time I talk about, like, something like that gets me going, like, I remember, like, when Facebook Live first started, I specifically remembered, I'm like, I don't care if I literally have to talk about, like, this yellow notebook. Like, I want to get, because I felt like in my mind, I want to sharpen the sword. Like, I just want to get reps. Like, I just want to get reps because, like, and back to Gary Vee, one of the biggest things I've learned from him is patience, what you talked about. And that's the biggest thing I need to learn. And I think everybody listening is so in the instant, I got to get the likes, I got to get the views, I got to get the sales. But if you can apply that same hustle, but pulling on the other side is patience, I would literally jump on Facebook Live. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't even care what happens. If one person has some joy from this, I got better and they benefited from it. And so I think, again, like, people listening, if they're working on their project or whatever, I think we're in such a society that is so dangerous with this, and I love it, but it's addicting, and you're looking every 6 seconds. Oh my God, what did that video get? Oh man, I got to adjust because that didn't get the views. But, like, we need to define what success, and I need to do a better job of this too, like, continuing to remind myself, what's success for you? Like, I'm doing this right now. And if one person, and I already got it, this guy, Adam Zimmerman's watching on LinkedIn, and God bless you. I love you, Adam. And he literally was saying how much he appreciates this. Selfishly, I've won. I have won. Like, but I need to continue to remind myself this because I look at Instagram way too often and I'm like, oh, well, I shouldn't do that anymore because only 71 people watch that. But what if one of those 70, first of all, to get on a Zoom with 71 people, that's a ridiculous amount of people. Like, we're so jaded with these numbers now. It's like, why do you need, and I'm talking to myself, why do you need 10,000 people to watch it? That's a lot of people. What if 16? That's a classroom. What if it helped them? And so I think there's an element of reminding myself and reminding others, whatever the project is you're working on, there's such an element and something so amazing of being ridiculously patient and going one by one by one by one by one. Because to me, even if Netflix calls me in 30 years, I'm cool with
just
that.
So we're clear, if Netflix calls you in any of these outlets call you. You have to commit right now live, me, you, and Adam Zimmerman, that I'm a guest on the show.
By the way, 1,000%. I mean it.
Adam, where's that? Adam?
Adam's out there.
I'm gonna call him. He might come to the stand.
But that's I think the punchline is like, if you can be okay with that and build whatever you're building, if you can and I used to say, and you'll appreciate this. In the music business, and then I want to go into just how we met and what you're doing. I apologize for this rant. I wasn't planning on this. But in the music business, I
know you a long time. I was definitely planning on this
rant. I always
and I love it, by the way. I love it.
And I love you back. I always felt like there were two ingredients in the music business to make it. You were either so unbelievably good. You had two things. You were so unbelievably good and you could outlast everyone. And I think those two things are very, very hard. And I even look back at Honor Society. I truly believe if they were able to hang on, they would have somehow made it. But whatever it did, it didn't work out. But I always look back at that as such a shame. And everything happens for a reason, and it is what it is.
Dude, Honor Society played in Canada for 75,000 people.
Facts.
Who said they didn't make it?
By the way, agreed.
Yeah,
and
they were opening for the Jonas Brothers.
So agreed.
They played live in front of 75,000 people.
No, facts. And that goes back to defining success. And again, by the way, I say this all out of love. You know, I gave my blood, sweat, and tears for honesty. I love them. I was sad that like it didn't continue on. But that's a great point. You define success, which is great.
Continue on what? For them to continue on?
Just to continue on to do it.
Get a drug habit, ruin their life, get the boy.
Well, that's another thing.
So it goes back to defining success, right?
100%.
We hold that over our heads. We kind of look to self-destruct. And I think, as you get a little older, you understand a little bit more. Listen, we all have egos, right? So we all want to make more money. We all want to get more views. We all want to be able to provide for our families. But what does that even mean? You know what I mean? Like, is that a bigger house? I don't know. Do I need a bigger house? Probably not. I didn't even know I had a gym down in this basement until about 3 months ago. It's been here for 5 years. But the point being is that I think you have to simplify things. Like right now, I define success as being happy. And if you take that same course in terms of your definition, you're one happy motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you're one successful guy. And, listen, I'm not trying to be like naive here either. Like, success is 10,000 views. Like, I get that. I don't want to bring it back to like, oh, just be happy and like all that stuff. I mean, happiness is great, but really you should have the drive and the passion to get that commercial success, if you will. So if Honor Society ended up getting a #1 hit and selling 1 million albums, and that would have been great. And I think that's what everybody looks for within their business, to get to the top. But
legit.
if you don't, it doesn't mean it's a failure.
Just to go back,
that gray area.
Agreed.
And failure.
And I think for people listening, it's a really good exercise. And I'm going to actually do it once we stop. I'm genuinely going to do it because I want to sharpen my focus with it to really understand and define what success is for each person watching in whatever project it is that lights them up. And also in life. Because again, I think and I've studied some of this stuff, but like your brain is trained to just like look for, like if you're shopping for a car, like a red Jeep, like you will start to see a red Jeep. And so if we start to like actually define success, our brain will just start to look for that. And then I actually think we'll inherently feel better, because I think that's where that gap creates anxiety. And so if we have other people's versions of what success is in our equation, it screws us up. Like I could just be like, you know what? I'm doing this right now. I mean, I've won. And so I think there's elements of having short-term successes and long-term successes so that you can just find happiness day to day. I think it's important.
Yeah, listen, Lori, who my wife, she's very opposite me in terms of, goal-orientated. I think it depends on your personality as well. Like she's very goal-orientated. I mean, I remember her coming to me and saying, and she's a fitness buff, right? So I remember coming to me saying, hey, I want to go for the CrossFit Games right? She got into CrossFit, which is a pretty intense workout regimen, right? And I'm like, babe, that's top 20 in the world. And dude, that's all I had to say to her. That piece of doubt from her husband. She was like, yeah, I know. She was 45 years old, right? I want to be top 20 in the world. Well, guess what? She came in ninth in the world.
I love it.
Because she can do that, right? She just, I'm setting a goal and I'm going to do that. I probably would have bowed out after the first hamstring pull during the workouts. You know what I'm saying? Like, but point being is you should hold yourself accountable to who you are genuinely, right? You shouldn't try to be others in terms of, I think, your inner self and your personality and how and what makes you happy. And like for Lori, that was her goal. She made her goal, and that's what makes her happy. I'm not as much a goal-centric person. It drives her nuts. Like even with Extend the Chill that I started, she goes, "What's your business plan?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? I haven't really set that up yet." She's like, "Then what are you starting it for?" Like, she's very A, B, C, D. Me, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do this because I've been talking about it too long.
Tell me, I love that. Tell me, and everybody watching, what it is and why you started it.
It's kind of a long story. It's a combination of things, but basically Extend the Chill is a lifestyle brand. We're trying to garner a community that supports themselves. Listen, I don't think people are selfish enough. I know it sounds a little weird, but I think like all the heroes in my life were women, right? My dad was a good guy, but he was a mess. He was like very addictive personality. But my mom, my aunts, old school women that did everything for everybody, always put themselves last, right? So I remember my mom passed away from cancer, and we didn't talk much. We were Irish Catholic. Irish Catholics don't discuss anything. They just say everything's fine, and they go to church on Sunday, and they pray, and they figure it out, right? But when we knew she was going to die, those last 6 months, we had a lot of conversations. And I remember her looking at me, and unprovoked, she was like, "I really have only one regret." And I'm like, "What's that?" She's like, "I didn't pursue my singing." And she could sing like a bird. Ned, a bird, like Irish songs. It was awesome. Unbelievable voice. And I'm like, "Well, why didn't you do that, Mom?" She's like, "Well, I married your dad, and then you kids came along, and then blah, blah, blah." And I saw the sadness in her eyes. And I was like, wow. She didn't put herself first ever, because that's old school mentality. It's what, but she also, obviously she was the greatest mom ever, but to see the pain in her eyes when she said that, like, fuck, you got to put yourself first, right? So it was that moment. And then, when Lori was training for the games, she was gone a lot for the CrossFit Games. Like she was working her ass off. I mean, to be ninth in the world, you got to be gone a lot, and missing dinners or whatever. And she'd miss lacrosse games. The kids were younger back then; they were all playing sports, and I thought I was being very supportive, Ned. But found out later, like I was being pretty passive aggressive, which is a huge problem within relationships. Like that passive, no, that's all right. No dinner, we'll have pizza. Whatever it was. But the other point is that she already felt guilty, right, about being away and training so much. And I just made it worse for her, right? Because I didn't understand it meant that much for her to do that. Like she had to do it. Like, and thank God she just put the blinders on, did it. Because you think my kids, and this is for any parent out there, you think kids are resilient. They're not going to remember. And for you, you're a young parent, right? Now your kids are young, and they're not, if you feel, right, or Megan feels like she's got to go to yoga, or you feel like you got to go for a run when one of the kids has a lacrosse game on a Tuesday night, go for your run. Go to yoga. They're not going to forget. They're not going to bring it up like when they're 19, say, "Hey, you missed my Tuesday night lacrosse game." But I think we put everything on ourselves where we got to be everything to everybody. And then no good. So those kind of things. So the kind of the mission of the brand is extend the chill, extend it to the point where you do what you love to do to get your head straight, right? For me, walk on the beach with my dog, with my yellow lab, Easton, no headphones. For Lori, it's an hour and a half in the gym, push some weight around, and then you come back energized. And people, if they think the people around you think that's selfish, shame on them, because ultimately it's selfless, right? Because selfish is selfless, because if you get your head straight, you come back strong for them, dude.
100.
And you're ready to perform. So that's
100.
kind of the gist of the brand. It's like, man, take time for yourself, do whatever it is you have to do. We call that like extending the chill. That's how you extend the chill. And then come back strong for everybody. And if people don't understand that love you, your family, your friends, whoever, they got it wrong. You don't. So that's kind of the idea. And then we're just kicking it off now. So with some cool gear, I hope, and build a community, and we'll see how it goes. But it's something I always wanted to do.
I love it, and I applaud you for doing it. I really do. I love this. It's so timely. I think everybody needs it. I think especially parents out there. And I think it's so important, and I would love your thoughts on this. I think we have to schedule it, because we will never find those windows. Like, I think we have to be intentional about extending our chills, because everything is filled up. It's filled up with work. It's filled up with kids. It's filled and so I think you have to be so intentional and schedule it like you would an important meeting. I think it's that important.
Listen, I think you do, but I also think, life's so unpredictable that, you can schedule all you want, but if you're overwhelmed, man, like if your head's ready to burst,
just go.
And you think you're going to just hide it, like, and the kids are in a safe place if they're home or wherever, like, you go for that 20-minute run, dude. You get on that Peloton, you bust it out. I know you're a big Peloton guy. That's the other thing you should be. If this thing doesn't work out, you should absolutely be a Peloton.
Can I tell you something?
Instructor.
I swear to you, and this is a true story. Every single time I'm on that bike, I literally, like, legitimately practice as if I'm a coach. Like, I'll do it like probably 5 or 6 times, and I'll just like pretend that I'm a coach, and I'm not. I got it. Like, for real, I can do it. Like,
just so we're clear, I'm not sure if this is his first name or not. Cody Rigby got nothing on you.
He's on Dancing with the Stars.
Is that his first name?
Cody, yeah.
That's my point. Dude, you got the dancing down. Like, Cody Rigby.
You just got to break it open, man.
Cody Rigby is setting up your path. I don't want to get you off this stuff you're doing here, because you're unbelievable at it.
No, I'm down.
Maybe you do both. Because
let me tell you something.
Cody, God bless you.
I'm telling you,
I don't know
when Soul Cycle comes to our area, I think I'm going to do it. For real. Just saying. Where can people find Extend the Chill right now if they want to buy these?
We just kind of had a soft launch. You go to Instagram at Extend the Chill, extendthechill.com. We got got the sweatshirt here. Got some other items up there, but really, like, for me, sure, I want a successful business, and we go back to success, right? For me, it's like, just to your point, like, you affect one person, right? Like, if we, with our messaging and with our community can affect one mom, like if Megan listens to us and says, Ned, I'll be back in 2 hours, I got to go. Especially the moms out there, like, especially like that maternal instinct where they feel like they have to keep it all together all the time.
100.
And I don't want to get into mom-dad discussion.
100,000%.
You know what I'm saying? It's just the way I grew up. I think that, it makes it better for everyone. You make yourself so much stronger for your family. You could, like, Lori goes to the gym, like, she may leave for the gym and be all wound up and like short and snappy and whatever. She comes back for the gym, she runs in, jumps, gives me a hug, she's sweating. I mean, that has a lot to do physiologically, moving around, moving your body, your blood flow, and I'll leave that to the other experts. But just from my perspective, like, that's
Agreed.
What makes, and it could be a glass of wine and a good book.
Whatever it is.
By the way, let me go back. What were the books that we read, the notes, when we didn't want to read the whole book in school?
Cliff Notes.
You are the Cliff Notes of inspiration, because I can listen to Vaynerchuk and Jesse Itzler, and then you come back, listen to every other nitwit on the social media and you give your nuggets. So I don't even have to listen to throw some names at me.
Well, so like this is interesting. So Rich Roll, I think, is one of the best podcasts. Period.
Yes, Rich Roll.
I
don't care to meet him. I don't care to listen to him because you know what?
I flirted with this.
Work for me.
I flirted with this idea of like a show of like, because nuggets, not a lot of people nugget literally like in whatever, brilliant. A minute, 3 minutes, I'm going to give you the 5 things you need to know. Like bang, 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 bang.
You're the Cliff Notes of inspiration.
Ned's notes, baby. Ned's notes.
What, dude? Why don't you?
This goes back to I'm trying to find the lane here.
Because nobody's got time. Although now with traffic in New York, I should be listening to everyone's podcast because it's a mess. Yes. Every time I get in the car, it's 2 hours.
How else? First of all, before I get into this, I think you should 100% start a podcast. Because I think as a branding,
let's do one together.
No, but like I think an extend the chill podcast needs to happen because I think you could interview moms and doctors and different people and get their perspectives on how they are either struggling with extending the chill and or how they're benefiting from it, because everybody has a story. Like if I came on your podcast and I tell my story and this and that, and then the lens always comes back to you.
But what do you do? Like, I mean, in for reals, as you say, what do you do? Like when you're just stressed and you're done, and it could be a couple of things, but what's your kind of go-to? Is it a workout?
I'll tell you, and I knew you were going to ask me this, and it's interesting. I need to do more of it because I am really focused on work, because I think it's driven from fear and finances and providing. And so I'm inherently not leaving enough time, and I think I'm waking up too early. I love working out, but to really extend the chill, it's interesting. Music is so my jam, and I do some work in downtown Detroit. And like I just literally had to go down there today for a meeting, and it's like a good 30-minute chunk. And I just get in there and I just listen to like freaking like I'm going Careless Whisper.
Backstreet Boys and NSYNC.
Yeah, like I'm just like today I could not stop listening to Careless Whisper. The song is unbelievable.
Really, George Michael.
By the way, the song is so good. And then I rolled Last Christmas. I'm like, is it too soon? I'm like, no.
Give me a little Careless Whisper.
There's a part in the breakdown that is so good.
Dude, your intros are the best. Like I would have just busted into Careless Whisper, but you went back, like your body, like you're freaking really good at what you do. Like if we were on a desk right now on NBC, the way your body went and the way you go ahead. Give me the intro.
Well, I need to actually.
You're gonna sing it.
So this part. 'Tonight this is so loud. I wish that we could lose this crowd. Baby, it's better this way. You hurt me with the things that you want to say. Like that part. Why are the bridges of songs better than the rest of the songs?
Is Adam Zimmerman still with us?
I don't know. I think there's only.
I'd like to ask Adam, like, what would happen if Ned could actually sing?
Dangerous song. I have this idea, and I don't know if you've heard of trap karaoke. Have you heard of trap karaoke?
No, but Paige, my oldest daughter, was just talking about doing karaoke. Both my girls, Paige and Peyton, their birthdays are November.
This is ultimately
they were just talking karaoke.
So I want to do. You know how I've always talked about this sort of like life party thing? I was trying to like dial in exactly what that is, but like I think there is such a lane, and they're doing it with trap karaoke with like dope like R&B and rap music. I think there's such a lane to like think about like I'm trying to think of a New York like dope venue. Like where did I was want to refer to the boys, we always used to say that. Where did Jonas play? Irving Plaza, okay?
Right.
Think like Irving Plaza, and you have a DJ and a band, okay? Like the dopest setup. And it's literally karaoke. So you get to go on stage and like perform, but like with a band and a DJ, and it sounds good. And the crowd either like supports you Or it's like, where do they used to like boo you off? Like what was that like back in the day?
Yeah. That was oh my
What
god,
was that? What was that?
Greatest show ever.
Yeah, what was that? What was that like? I can't remember.
Not know that.
It was at the Apollo. The Apollo. Yes. Wasn't it at the Apollo?
Live at the Apollo.
Yeah. So I want to do that, but like with Britney Spears songs and Backstreet Boys songs, and like literally like you become the star, like everyone's dream. Like for example, your mom. Can you imagine if we would have brought your mom to come on stage
to sing a little Irish song on
literally? And I got chills. It's everyone's dream. I want to do that. I want to do that.
It's brilliant. What do you
I want to give people like literally throw the most epic karaoke party, but like live with the band. Like imagine like Jonas vibe.
What's trap karaoke?
So trap karaoke is literally doing this with like hip hop and R&B music. It's unbelievable. And I actually reached out to them. I was like, yo, I think I want to do this like for pop, but it's my favorite thing to do in the world. And instead of Saturday Night Johnny Mac, instead of like going out to another whatever dinner, like, can you imagine going to Irving Plaza?
And not only that, like you don't know if you're gonna get picked.
And it's like that, and like you come on, like you better come correct. Like this is like your shot. And Johnny Mac, and literally I get chills when the crowd starts singing with you because you know your shit. There's not a better fit. You remember, and this is why I want to do this, and this is why I'm gonna do this, and this may be like the thing I focus on. You know that moment in any concert that you go to where like the band's playing their hits, Maroon 5's going, This Love is on, and then during the chorus, they give you the mic and they stop singing, but the whole crowd sings. That's my favorite moment in life. Like something spiritual is happening, and I had this like name of like crowd karaoke.
You listen. You don't think they know who they're handing the mic to?
Exactly.
Or you think it's random?
No, I'm saying the crowd sings. I'm saying not a person. I'm saying they just go like this with the mic, and everyone is like everyone comes together in that moment. Like that's why I want to start the show.
No, that's actually a really good idea. And
like
your contacts in the music industry, why haven't you done this?
Right. Well, and imagine, by the way, this is Trap Karaoke's doing this as well. But like, can you imagine if like we do a show in New York? We're gonna do this, by the way, and some 30-year-old girl is singing "Burning Up," and I'm like, yo, wait, hold on. You sound good, but like we have somebody who wants to come out and like just start bringing out like guests, and like all of a sudden like Joe comes out and just blows her face off and like sings with her. Like those moments would start to just happen. That's happening at Trap Karaoke, where they'll like it's gotten so big now that like the artist will actually come out and the person on stage just freaks out. Like, and that's not being done in pop music. That's literally what I want to do.
Do it. That's a good idea. It's a great idea. Actually, Peyton, my middle one, can sing like crazy, right? She doesn't do it enough, and she never really.
So ask her this question, and Peyton, if you're watching, and I want you to ask her this question: if she had one, and this is a little like morbid, but this is the way I really pull it out of people. If you had one song to save your life, what are you singing?
Back in the day, Ned, when I was single, this was my pickup line. Oh, God, forgive me for even bringing this up. I'd go into a bar, and back then we had jukeboxes. Remember those?
Oh, love. Yeah, love.
Right. So I would say if there was a young lady sitting next to me, just to start conversation, if I had to play 3 songs that would make you fall in love with me in that jukebox, what would they be? You laugh, dude. You laugh. 99 out of 100, it at least sparked conversation.
Oh, of course.
Music is
the best.
Unbelievable how it connects, right?
Yep.
So Peyton was down with Lori for Nashville. I don't know if it was for Lori's 50th or it was for something else. And she's never really sung live other than like at family events. Maybe 1 or 2 funerals. She sang a few Irish songs, but they were in a, Nashville, right? All live music. They were in a bar, and somebody requested a song that's a really, really hard song to sing. And I forget what it is. But a lot of these kids on American Idol, they would sing it because it's a very difficult song to sing. And the girl who was on stage said, "Oh, I don't really know that song. Does anybody know that song?" And Peyton, she's drinking age just about. Well, she was with Lori, so she had a few glasses of wine. And Lori's like, "Go ahead." And so she went up and she sang. And it was the most unbelievable experience. And she would tell you, like, so yeah,
that's what I want to do.
To that, like, never I want to give had people the opportunity,
right?
or the nerve to actually do it. But the idea you're talking about is
But
awesome.
what I want to do is I want to make it like amazing. Like I want to get like Jonas like level band. So like when you go up there, like you really feel like you are performing. Like, this is not in like one of those just karaoke rooms and it's like, you know, whatever. Like this is like you're on stage. Like this is your shot.
Yeah, I think just to be on stage with 800 people in the audience,
right?
Whatever the venue.
Didn't you come to that? Like if I put this together in like New York and LA,
because it's sheer fun too.
Right.
Like it's a night out where like
exactly.
Like if you're however you're getting people to come in terms of the ticket, and you say, hey, do you want to be considered for singing? What is your song? Fill this out.
Correct.
Then,
or literally just
but you're only taking 15 people. The whole dynamic is like, they're either going to say, I really want to make it, or I'm nervous, I don't want to make it. And then if they don't make it, they're pissed, right? And they'll come back for another. So just from a business perspective, the audience is kind of built in, because once people start experiencing the almost a chance to actually do it, even though they're nervous, and they don't get picked, they're like, oh, I could have done that, because they see the other people. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'm going to do it. It's something that it's my favorite thing that I would want to do that I can't go do. So I want to create it.
Well, I listen, you could always just produce it, right? Create, enough people in the music business.
So what if you're coming to the New York show, you got a couple drinks in you. What are you singing? What, like, legit, like, what's happening?
Listen, I'm not even going to tell the story, but I'm Marvin Gaye. Let's get it on. That's all I do. There's no question. I
mean, do you understand what that would do to the crowd?
Listen, I've already performed it on a consistent basis. Lori is probably laughing if she was. My kids are probably laughing. But yeah.
That's going to happen, by the way. I'm going to pull up this clip.
Just so you know, the greatest part about that is that I cannot sing. I might be a worse singer than you.
But that's the point. That's why it's great. That's why, and that's what I'm realizing. That's what the punchline is. That's why it's great.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
But here's the element, and this is where I want to really think about it. I want there to be an element of like the crowd sings with you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I had this name of like crowd karaoke vibe, which I want to think about it a little bit more. But like you get to sing with the crowd on some level. Like the crowd's with you. But stay tuned.
I would name it "This Is Your Shot."
Jet. Stay tuned.
But
stay tuned.
But the point being that it's funny. I think a situation like that would be a lot about personality. Like, I don't think it would be the best singer. I don't think you want it to be a singing contest. Like,
no.
I think the crowd's more apt to sing along with a very average or even a poor singer that chooses a great song.
Agreed. It's agreed.
And has fun
on
the stage with the song.
Agreed.
So, yeah. Go
Stay tuned. Man. We're gonna do the first one. We're gonna do Detroit, New York, LA, and we're gonna rent out 100-person theater, and we're gonna smoke it.
No, 100 people.
Yeah. What?
No.
I don't want to bite off too much. I want to sell it. I want to vibe.
500.
Well, you think more?
Yeah, 500 for sure.
Oh, dude, that's large. Dude, I don't know 500 people in New York. I could bite off 100. I could hustle to sell out 100.
I don't know.
By the way, and we can talk about this offline. Will you think about a spot that's 100-seater in New York? That's the right vibe for this. Just think about that. You don't have to tell me now.
All right. Cool.
Okay, so back to Detroit is. By the way, let me tell you something. Detroit is, I think, one of the, and I mean this very genuinely. I think it's one of the nation's best kept secrets. I feel like post-COVID, once we get through this, I'm so excited for people to see the level of this city, because the restaurants, the hotels, the coffee shops, the bars, it is so dope. Like it is New York, LA level in these pockets that are building, and it's awesome. And the city is so real, and working down there and like just being on the ground, like I feel it. I love getting to know these people. I love getting to know these small businesses. It is so real and awesome and legit. And I just would have never known about it, obviously, but have gotten such a cool opportunity to just experience it. It's a dope city.
Well, I'll tell you
Dope.
what, the people that you run into and that you interact with, the sheer joy, right? The sheer joy on the
Yeah.
workers in the bakeries and or
For
the
real.
FedEx guy, like it's really cool to watch. You know what I mean?
No, dude,
Because
I
it's
appreciate
like
that.
there's just so much here in New York. There's just so much anger and hate and for a lot of reasons, and it's just I look at some of your clips and I'm just like, man, look at and that has a lot to do with you. You bring out the joy in
No, thank you,
people.
man.
Like if you just talk to people, right? You just treat them with respect and what you always do is you say, I appreciate you. People want to hear that. You know what I mean? People want to hear that. And something as simple as I appreciate you to the FedEx guy or to, that just so you know, that's what I've done in my life a lot more since I've been listening to your
I
stuff
appreciate that.
and
I
watching
love
you
that.
is that, you know, listen, there's a lot of people doing a lot of mundane jobs that they wouldn't have thought they dreamed of doing. It wasn't their dream to be X, right? But they're doing it for reasons. And most of the time that reasons is to support themselves and their families, right? So it's hard to get up and go to work with joy at a job you don't love, right? But they're doing it and they're making the best of it. And those are the people that I admire so much. Um, and the fact that you're finding those people and you're bringing them to life for that 60 seconds and to watch the joy knowing that those people didn't really dream of that but they're making the best of it, it's huge. So good
I,
for you. That's
dude, thank
cool.
you for
And that's
saying
why
that.
that's why I love Detroit. Like the people you find, it's just like, man,
Dude, I thank you for
they're
saying that.
happy.
It's like my favorite thing doing and just like talking to these people. I want to give people an assignment on that note. Last night I was actually coming out of a grocery store and there was a gentleman who was emptying the garbage. And I said to him, I was like, hey brother, like I just want to thank you so much, man. Thanks for making it look so nice. And I swear to you, and it could like literally bring like tears to my eyes, like thinking about it. And it was so wild, Johnny Mac. Like he he like turned to me and actually paused. Like he was like thank you so much, man. He was like thank you. He was like like have a blessed rest of your day. And it was so almost like electric energy back and forth because he like felt seen. He like felt seen and appreciated. And so to people out there listening and watching, like tomorrow or today, and consistently, not just once, but almost like a muscle, like, and it's so interesting because you teach your kids not to talk to strangers, but then I think it flips, and I think we have to talk to strangers, but call somebody out and appreciate them, like your barista, the banker, like whatever. Like just be like thank you so much, like I appreciate you. I remember when I ran into to Gary V on the street in LA,
Did
and
you
I
really?
just started listening to him. And I said, and I literally, and I was like, grabbed him in the street, and he was so locked in on me. He could have whatever, like, dude, he didn't have to. He was so locked in on me, and like gave me my moment, and I felt heard, and that like, I just like needed that, and I think we all need that. We need to be seen and heard, and I'm all about passion and finding, your dream job. But what I'm learning is, most times it's not the dream job. You make it the dream job. Like I used to complain all the time about doing branded merchandise and promotional product. I would say to my wife, like, I don't want to sell keychains. What is this? This is ridiculous. Now I learn that actually is a version of my dream job. I can work anywhere I want. I can work with any company that I want. I can work any hours that I want, and I can make however much money I want because I'm on straight commission. What other job can you do all those things? That's perspective. That's perspective instead of your bad attitude of like, I don't want to do this. I want to be Jimmy Fallon. Well, relax, dude. Like, do what you got to do. And then in the morning and night on the weekends, you can do that. But what if you started a talk show about promotional products? Like, figure out a creative way to bring your passions into your job. But going back to the assignment, call somebody out in literally the line of like, I appreciate you. Like, just let them feel seen and heard. I think that it's so powerful, man. You know?
Yeah, I think that's great, and I think that's a great attitude in terms of the direction you want to go. Regardless of what job you end up in. But listen, words matter, right? It's as simple as that. Like words, you can say something that crushes somebody, that really causes pain. Like you could probably say 3 or 4 words to somebody that really hurts them, like hurts their soul. Um, and on the flip side, you could probably say 4 words, I appreciate you, 3 words that can affect their soul. So I think people need
Genuinely,
to think. I think people need to think about that. They need to
genuinely,
understand that. Like to
genuinely.
your point, whether it's homework or whether it's, changing your state of mind. Like, and quite honestly, we've all been involved in philanthropy with the folks we worked for, and we've been to how many hospitals over the years with the different clients that we've had, and you always go in thinking, wow, we're going to cheer up some kids today, and I know it's cliche, but ultimately you leave there, and these are the kids that cheered you up, and you're like, how did that happen? How did that happen? It's because they have the right attitude, and you connect, right? You connect, and you go in there thinking that you're this great guy, and or your client's this unbelievable person that's going to cheer up these kids, and you walk out of there so affected in a way you didn't think you were affected. So even to your point, like to get that smile and thank you from somebody that you tell them you appreciate them, it's duality, man. You walk away feeling on the top of the world,
100%.
and they walk away. So what's better than a win-win, my brother?
Amen. By the way, before we wrap this up, and I want to do this again, will you tell me what was your favorite story working with the Jonas Brothers?
Oh my God. I think I signed an NDA.
I got Kevin, Jonas, and Phil just in the wings here.
No, I will tell you that. That's something I didn't expect. That's probably there was so many, there was such good kids, and I say kids just because they were when we worked for them, and it was just such a whirlwind, and I've been around it a lot, for sure, and I will tell you those 3 guys handled the pressure going from 3 kids from New Jersey to Beatlemania, so elegantly, so classy, and really thankful each and every day. And I think they understood their responsibility to their fans. And man, they didn't sleep. They didn't sleep. Up early, bed late, shook every hand, thanked everybody. You know the kids that are leaving the venue, you just paid for however many thousand, like say Canada, Rogers Center back then was 75,000 Honor Society. They're thanking the security guards, right? They're thanking the people that kept the green room clean or provided them with water. That's the kind of kids they are, and that's the kind of adults they've grown up to be. And now Kevin's got his girls. Like, it's just really nice to see. So
Beautiful.
Honestly, that's probably my greatest memory of that time, is that, working with such classy young men that handled extreme pressure in a crazy world, with with style and with with respect. So that's about it. I'll tell you the other stories offline, brother.
So Johnny Mac, we got to do this again. Extend the chill. Let's all put this into our world, because I think we need the reminder of like taking the time for ourselves. And yes, on one hand, it can be looked at as selfish, but if we don't do it, then I think it's selfish to our loved ones, because then we're not our best. Like, I need to go listen to Careless Whisper to then be great for my family. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
1000%.
Johnny Mac, the last word, parting shots. What do you most want people to know about Extend the Chill, you, life? You have the floor.
No, just as far as Extend the Chill, give us a follow on Instagram. Check us out on the website. Reach out to me, shoot me a DM, tell me a story where you feel like you've probably not done it, to your point, Ned, and how you're going to commit to being a little more selfish. Even though
I love
that
it.
sounds a little weird, but yeah, all good, man. I look forward to doing this again, buddy. And Yeah, let's go.
So we got to take this out. What song do you feel like most represents right now in your life into the holiday season? How do we want to end this with our friend Alexa? Because she's ready to go. As you can see,
Marvin Gaye, let's get it on.
Marvin
Gaye, let's get it on.
So I'm gonna say
I'm not gonna sing.
I'm gonna say Alexa, then you say play. You give her the instruction. Okay, Alexa,
play Marvin Gaye. Let's get it on.
Ladies and gentlemen.
This might answer your question.
No.
According to Wikipedia, the Lettermen are an American male
Alexa,
pop vocal trio.
Play Marvin Gaye, Let's Get It On.
What kind of production you got going on?
Please Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye on Amazon.
Ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Mac, extend the chill, put it into your days to take care of yourself, and if nothing else, put this bad boy on, and we'll see you on stage singing this live. Ooh, this hits different. I think the kids fell back asleep.
Come on.
Johnny Mac, I love you, brother.
Oh, come on. Ned, good catching up, man. You're the best.
You're the best. We'll do this again. Extend the chill. Check them out. I love you, brother.
Thanks for all you do, Ned.
You too.